Hi guys, this is Jason. I'm back again today to talk to you about heteronyms. Heteronym is a word that probably a lot of people don't know, but you're going to see today how it is a very useful idea for you. Now, before we get into heteronyms themselves, I want to talk to you about a few other words that are very similar. First are synonyms. A synonym is a word that has the same spelling, the same pronunciation, but has different meanings. So one example of a synonym is a bow. So bow can be, so when you bend at the waist to show appreciation or to show respect to somebody. Or bow can be the front of a ship. So we'll make another lesson on synonyms another time. Second, we have homophones. A homophone is a word that sounds the same, but the spelling is different. Now there are thousands of homophones out there, but one of the easiest ones that everybody knows is the homophone to. So to can be spelled T-O, like I'm going to the store, or T-W-O, I have two hands, or T-O-O, my wife loves me too. But today we're going to talk about heteronyms. Now heteronym is a word that we use that sounds differently, but it is spelled the same, and it has a different meaning. So let me show you 15 different heteronyms today. Oh, and before we do, let me give you one more term today, and that is syllable. A syllable is how long a word or how many vowel sounds there are in a word. So a word with many syllables, it means it's longer to say. So here's an example. Apple has two syllables. You can hear two different vowel sounds, the a and the So apple. How about this one? Because. Now because has four vowels, but we hear two different vowel sounds. Be, cause. So that is a two-syllable word. The last one, intelligent. Intelligent's a long word. It has four syllables. Intelligent. Now, why are you learning syllables? Well, that'll also be clear in just a moment. Now, here is our first heteronym. Listen as I read these two sentences. See if you can hear the difference in the pronunciation of the word. Give me your address so I can mail you a gift. The candidate will address the audience tonight. You'll see the same word in both sentences, but the first sentence I said address, where I emphasize the first syllable and it has an a sound like apple. But the second one, I said address. I emphasize the second syllable. Address means like to give a speech or to talk to somebody. How about this one? I caught a bass this big when I went fishing. I played the bass drum in college. Bass is a type of fish. But bass, well, that's a standard of sound. So if you can sing a soprano, you have a very high voice. I played a big drum in college, so we called it a bass drum. Robin Hood was a good shot with a bow and arrow. You should bow down when you meet the King of England. Bow, B-O-W, is the weapon that you use to shoot an arrow. But bow is actually the synonym I gave earlier. So bow of a boat or bend at the waist to show respect to somebody. During a hurricane, the wind will buffet the house strongly. I went to a sushi buffet for dinner. Buffet means like to hit something very hard. So the wind buffeted the house, it buffeted. But a buffet is a restaurant where you go and get food and you keep on going back for seconds or thirds. My daughter and I love to go to a sushi buffet. I didn't get exactly what I wanted, but it was close. Please close the door to save energy. First word, close. Second word, close. So the pronunciation is very similar, but the second word, S, sounds like a Z. So close, open, and close. But close or far. How about this one? I had to console my daughter when her fish died. I have an Xbox console that I play every weekend. Console, we emphasize the second syllable. Console means to help somebody feel better when they're feeling really sad. But a console can be used for several different things, but I love my Xbox. Not as much as my family, but I have an Xbox console. I am content with my life as a teacher. There is a great amount of content in this YouTube video. Content, I'm satisfied, I'm happy. Content means the material that's included in something. If you look early in a book, you will say a table of contents. All right, how about this one? I hope that I won't contract COVID-19 again. I signed my new contract last week. Contract, you emphasize the second syllable, and it means to get something. So I contracted malaria, I contracted the flu. But a contract is an agreement between two people or a teacher at a school in my case. The Sahara Desert is the largest in the world. God will never desert me. Desert, of course, is a place that's very dry. It has very little rainfall. Sahara Desert in northern Africa. Antarctica is a desert that's very cold. But desert means to run away, to abandon somebody. I dove into the water and made a big splash. A dove is a bird and a symbol of peace. Dove is past tense for dive. So I dove into the water. But dove is a beautiful bird. It's in the pictures, it's always white colored. The magician began to entrance the audience with his show. The entrance of the store is around the corner. Entrance, it's almost like hypnotize. So first time my wife made a hamburger, she put it in front of me and she moved it back and forth and my head moved like that. I was entranced, okay? But the entrance, well, that's the place where you can enter a place. All right. My nephew will graduate from college next spring. My wife was a graduate student before receiving her master's degree. Here the words are almost exactly the same, but the pronunciation and the usage is different. Graduate is a verb, so he will graduate. But graduate, we take the last syllable and we make it an IT sound. Graduate, it becomes a noun, or in this case, an adjective. This election is invalid because voters were not allowed to turn in their choices. Helen Keller was considered an invalid for most of her youth. Invalid, invalid. Invalid means it's not official, it's not true, it's either false or it doesn't count. An invalid means a person who can't help themselves. Okay? My daughter was an invalid when she was 2 weeks old. She couldn't even turn over yet. If you lead, I'll follow. I wore a lead apron when I got an x-ray. Lead, well, that's like follow the leader. So I will lead you to my favorite restaurant. But lead, that's a type of metal. So I wore a lead apron so that the x-rays wouldn't give me cancer. The football game was broadcast live around the world. And I want to live in Singapore when I retire. Live means it's not recorded. I'm sorry, this YouTube video is not live. But live means don't die. So I will live as long as I can to support my family. All right, guys, we actually are going to make a second video next week. So this is the end of part 1. But I want to say congratulations. Excellent job today. And I hope that you have a great week. Take care.